Hello everyone, wishing you a very good afternoon. I hope you all are doing fine. Am I audible and visible to everyone? Good afternoon, Abhiram. I hope everyone is doing fine and you all can hear me loud and clear. Before beginning today's class, same instructions. Keep your videos off, and if you have to send any message, anything that you want to ask, do it on the ID with the name of Ask. That is the ID that you must be using for any doubts. Everyone knows this, right? Okay. Now, as far as I remember, in yesterday's class, we were doing the velocity time graph. We had seen that the slope of velocity time graph gives us acceleration, and area under velocity time graph gives us both the distance as well as the displacement. So we'll be doing one question. This is question number 14 taken from your notes. So we'll go through the question. There is a curve. This is a VT curve. Velocity is plotted along y-axis. Time is plotted along x-axis. The VT graph is shown. We have to find out the acceleration from O to A, part O to A to B, and B to C. So we have to find acceleration in all the three parts. The three parts being O to A meaning this part. What is the acceleration? A to B, this part. What is the acceleration? B to C, this part. What is the acceleration? Can I have some answers? Will you be able to tell me how to do this? Anyone has any idea how to do this? How are we going to solve questions of this type? We have already seen how to do it. In fact, in this question, looking at the various options, option number A, option number B, option number C, and option number D, looking at the various options, you don't even have to solve the question. You can tell the answer straight away by looking at the options. Some people call it trick. Well, it is a trick to get the answer. It is a trick. Niharika, your answer is wrong. The trick to get the answer is right here. Look at the part O to A. From O to A, the part O to A, as time increases, velocity increases. As time increases, velocity increases. Yes, Niharika. So the graph ka slope is positive. From O to A, when time increases, velocity increases, graph ka slope is positive. From A to B, velocity is constant. As you can see, velocity is constant, and hence the slope is 0. So first answer must be positive. The second answer must be 0. Looking from B to C, let me call this point as C. It's not given in the graph. Let me call this point as C. It's not given in the graph. From B to C, as you can see, as time increases, velocity decreases, and hence the slope of this graph has to be negative. Am I clear, all of you? Are you getting me? Slope of this graph is negative. Anyone, everyone getting me? Can I have some raised hands? Tarun, Tanu, Sai, Preeti, Janvi, Ramchandra, Abhiram. Do we understand this? From A to B, slope is positive. From O to A, slope is positive. From A to B, slope is 0. and from B to C slope is negative, there is only one option. There is only one option which is giving me this combination, and that option is, which one is that option? That option is option A. So option A has to be your answer. Without calculating even anything, we have found out the answer. But now let us do it by the correct way. And the correct way would be to find out the answer. So now look at the section from O to A. From O to A, we have to find the slope of the graph. From O to A, we have to find the slope of the graph. That would be given by this angle ka tan of this angle theta, which is already drawn there. That will be equal to perpendicular. This would be perpendicular, and this would be the base. So this would be perpendicular divided by base. The length of the perpendicular, as you can see, is 10. 10 divided by the length of the base is also 10. 10 divided by 10, we have to write plus 1 meter per second square. Why is this plus important? Why is this plus important? Anyone, why is this plus important? Why is this plus important? Because this plus is giving me what? This plus is giving me, yes, Abhiram, this plus is giving me the direction of acceleration. Acceleration is a vector. We have to say is direction. Without direction, nothing makes sense. So now that is part number 1. From O to A, from A to B, part AB. It's very simple. Slope is 0. So acceleration has to be 0. Everyone knows this. For the part from B to C, again I have to find out the slope. Let me call this angle as phi. I have to find the angle tan of phi. Tan of phi will again be perpendicular divided by base. In this case, perpendicular will be this line, straight line, vertical line. And base would be the time axis. Base would be the time axis. The vertical line is 10 meters per second. The base is 20. So the answer will be 0.5 meter per second square. It will be negative because as time increases, velocity decreases. This is the acceleration from B to C. Am I clear with this concept? Anyone having any doubt, please raise. Any doubt with this? This plus sign here indicating the direction here, this minus indicating the direction of this acceleration. Everyone, anyone who has a doubt in this question, please raise hands, else we'll move on to the next one. Anyone will have a doubt, please raise hands. If there is no doubt, I will move on to the next topic. So I hope everyone has understood this. So we'll move on to the next topic. And what is the next topic? This is the last topic for this chapter. The last topic for this chapter is known as motion with variable acceleration. So please write the heading, motion with variable acceleration. Now, as I told you, if you can't write in the class with me, don't write. I'll be sending you this PDF. Just listen to what we are doing in the class and you can write your notes in good handwriting after the class. Motion with variable acceleration. Up till now, most of the questions that we had done, they had acceleration. It was constant. Or the acceleration was 0. But now in this last section, we will be dealing with questions where the particle may have variable acceleration. Now, what do you mean by variable acceleration? The acceleration will not be constant. Acceleration would be changing. How will acceleration change? Since the acceleration is variable and acceleration is a vector, it can change in magnitude. It can change in magnitude, or it can change in magnitude, or it can change in direction. Yes, or it can change in both of these. It can change in magnitude, it can change in direction, or it can change in both of these. Now, how will I explain this? What will be an example for this? How can acceleration change in magnitude? So I'll just give you an example. To change acceleration in magnitude, I can write acceleration as 2t. I can write acceleration as 2t, where t stands for time. T stands for time. As you can see, at time t is equal to 0, acceleration becomes 0. Acceleration is 0. At time t is equal to 1 second, acceleration becomes 2. The unit is meter per second square, so I put it. As you can see, since acceleration is a function of time, with time, acceleration is continuously changing. I can put another value just to make a point. Acceleration now becomes 4. I must add plus because plus indicates its direction, and so on. Am I clear? That this, if I have an acceleration of this type, where acceleration depends on time, it is going to continuously change with time. Can I have some raised hands that we understand this, sir? Can I have some raised hands that we understand this, sir? No one has understood this. Let me call out some names. Tanu, Janvi, Ram Charan, Sai, Janvi. Okay, we've got some raised hands. So this is how I can make acceleration change with time in magnitude. Now let us think about some more options where acceleration is changing in direction. Can anyone give me any example of this type? Where acceleration now changes in direction. This was acceleration changing in magnitude. Acceleration changing in direction. I'll give you an example. Let us say acceleration is t minus 1 meter per second square. T minus 1 meter per second square. Now look at the beauty of this question. If I put at time t is equal to 0 seconds, what is the value of acceleration? Anyone? What is the value of acceleration? Anyone? At time t is equal to 0 seconds, it is minus 1 meter per second square. Yes, minus indicating its direction is opposite to velocity. So velocity is like this, acceleration would be like this. Listen to me very carefully. At t is equal to 1 second, what is the value of acceleration? Acceleration becomes 0 meter per second square. So you can see two things have happened. Acceleration has changed in magnitude, but that was not my concern. Acceleration was also changing in magnitude here. I have changed acceleration in direction, in magnitude and direction. Now in the beginning it was negative direction, now it is 0. Now look at what happens at t is equal to 2 seconds. See what happens at t is equal to 2 seconds. Acceleration becomes plus 1 meter per second square. So as you can see, Niharika, it should be plus 1. Acceleration has become from minus 1 to plus 1. Minus 1, the magnitude was 1. Direction was negative. After 2 seconds, at time t is equal to 2 seconds, the acceleration has become plus 1 meter per second square. So it has changed direction. So we'll be encountering such questions in which the acceleration is going to be variable. Acceleration will change with time. It can change in magnitude, it can change in direction, or it can change in both. So we understand this. Can I have some raise hand that so we understand this? We've understood that acceleration is now going to change. Now, if the acceleration is changing or acceleration is variable, then some equations which we have learned and which we have used up till now become irrelevant. So equations not valid. So there are some equations that we have already read, but they are not valid now. Can you tell me those equations which are not valid now? Equation number one, which is not valid because the acceleration is variable now. Equation number one. What is equation number one? V is equal to u plus at. Very nice, Niharika. This is the first equation which has become irrelevant now, not valid, because it was only valid when the acceleration was constant. Am I clear? Am I clear with everyone? Do I understand this? Do we have an understanding of this? Can I have some raise hand that we understand this? This is not valid, sir. Number two, what is the equation which we had learned but which is not valid now? Number two. Delta R is equal to ut. Very nice, Niharika, plus half at square. This equation was again only valid when the acceleration was constant. It is gone. That condition has gone, disappeared. This equation is not valid anymore. Equation number three that we had learned still was only valid for constant acceleration. Which was that? Which was that? We are doing a revision of what we have done till now in this chapter. So this is a revision. The equation which is not valid. Which one? Equation number three. V square is equal to u square plus 2 times a into delta r. If you don't want to use delta r, you can use s. Doesn't matter. I have short-term memory loss. I forget what is displacement. Delta meaning change, r means position vector, change in position vector is my displacement. Equation number 4, which is not valid. That is my favorite equation. V average is equal to V plus U divided by 2. These are the 4 equations which we had dealt in the previous classes, done so many questions with these 4 equations, but now, as fate would have it, these equations are no longer valid. Now let us look at equations which are valid. Equations that are valid. Those equations that we are supposed to use now. Those equations which we are supposed to use now. What are those equations? What are those equations? Equation number 1. V average. So we are starting from this 4th equation. V average. V average is total displacement divided by total time. Remember this equation. Remember this equation. This equation was a very basic equation that we had done for average velocity. Average velocity is total displacement divided by total time. This is the definition of average velocity. This equation remains same because it is not valid, because it is not based on constant acceleration. It is the definition. Now I can write this equation in a different way. Total displacement can be written as average velocity multiplied by time. So I can write this equation in either the first form or the second form. The equation remains same. Am I clear? Are we getting this? Are we getting this? Anyone has any doubts? Please raise your doubts now. This is the time that you raise your doubts. Okay. Equation number 2, which is still valid. Average speed We are doing an entire revision of the entire chapter today. Average speed. What was the definition of average speed? Average speed was total distance divided by total time. That equation is still valid because it was the definition of average speed. Am I clear? Am I clear? Am I confusing you guys? There was a lag in my video. I don't know. I don't see any lag over here. Is my video audio clearly visible to you without any lag? I can see the presentation here. I mean the screen here. There is no lag. I see. Niharika, there must be something wrong with your internet connection. Maybe you lost the connection in between, and that is why you see the lag. If there is a lag, I'll see it here on my screen better. What you are seeing is what I'm seeing on the screen right in front of me. Average speed is total distance divided by total time. That definition is still valid. Question number 3, that is still valid, is average acceleration. What was the definition of average acceleration? Total change in velocity divided by total time. That was the definition of average acceleration. It still remains valid. Total change in velocity is v minus u divided by t. That is your average acceleration, and this equation is still valid. This equation is still valid. Am I clear, everyone? Am I clear, everyone? Do we understand this? Can I have some raised hands? Can I have some show of strength? Let's say we understand this. These equations are still valid. These equations are still valid. Yes or no? Okay. Okay. These are the definitions. These are the definitions. Okay. Let me go on to the equation number 4, which is now valid. V is equal to dr by dt. Velocity is the rate of change of position vector with time. We may write it as dx by dt. If the particle is moving along x-axis, we can write this as dy by dt if the particle is moving along y-axis. Am I clear? Do we understand this equation? We have read this equation. This velocity was instantaneous velocity. Do we remember instantaneous velocity? Instantaneous velocity in short is known as velocity. Velocity at any given instant. Can I have some raised hand that we understand this, sir? Okay. Question number 5. Acceleration is dv by dt. Rate of change of velocity with time is known as acceleration. This obviously was instantaneous acceleration. I can write it like this as well. D square r by dt square. It is the second derivative of position vector with time. Do we understand this? Do we remember these equations? The equations in green. Do we remember these equations? We have all done this. In fact, we had done motion with variable acceleration before. We have done it. We'll again revise it. We are sort of revising it now. Okay. The 6th equation is derived from the 5th one. Now, how it is derived from the 5th one? Please have a look. Please note it very carefully. I can write acceleration as dv by dt. Now, what I'm going to do here is I am going to divide and multiply dx. So what I've done here is I have multiplied and divided by dx. Do we understand this? This dx and ds can get cancelled. Do we understand this? I have multiplied and divided by dx. When I have some raised hand, I will understand this. So you have multiplied and divided by dx, nothing else. Okay. Let me take the arrows off. I have multiplied and divided by dx. Now look at this part. Dx by dt becomes v. So I can write it as v into dv by dx. v into dv by dx. So I can write acceleration as v into dv by dx. Do we understand this, what I have done? Do you understand this, what I have done? I have written velocity as dv by dx. I have multiplied and divided by dx, and that is how I arrived at this result. Am I clear with everyone? Anyone has any doubts in this? This is the time to raise your doubts. Anyone has any doubts on this? Please raise your doubts now. Okay, now we have two equations. Now we have two sets of equations to be very precise. One is in green, equations that are in green, and one is in black. The equations are in black. Now, equations which are in black are only valid. They're only valid when? They're only valid when? When are the equations in black valid? When acceleration is constant. Am I clear? Am I clear? These equations are only valid when acceleration is constant. Yes, Niharika. What about the equations in green? What about the equations in green? The green equations. When are these equations valid? Well, these equations are, remember, always valid. Are always valid meaning they are valid when acceleration is variable. They are also valid when acceleration is constant. I'll repeat, please listen to me very carefully. The equations in green are definitions. All of the equations in green are definitions. They are always valid. So we can use them when the acceleration is uniform. We can also use them when the acceleration is variable. Do we understand this? Can I have some raised hands? Do we understand this? We have understood this concept that the equations in green are always valid. So I can use them whether it is constant acceleration or whether it is variable acceleration. But the ones in black have to be used very cautiously. They're only valid when acceleration is constant. Can I have some raise hand, show of strength that we understand this, sir? Vashant, Tarun, Tanu, Sai, Janvi, Abhiram. Do we understand this, beta? Okay. Black equations are only valid when acceleration is constant. Green equations are valid always. Now, let us look at this green equation and let us concentrate on equation number 4, 5, and 6, and let us try to write these equations in a different fashion. Let us now dwell more into it and let us write equation number 4. Now, this is equation number 4. Equation number 4 was V is dr, or let me write dx by dt. Velocity is the rate of change of position vector. Now I can write this equation in a different way. I can take dt on this side, so I can write dx, step number 1. I can write dx as v multiplied by dt. Am I clear? Do you understand this? What I have done here? I have just cross multiplied dt and taken it to the other side. Do you understand this? Now I can integrate both sides. Now I can integrate both sides and I can write integral of dx. Integral of dx will be equal to integral of v dt. Am I clear? Am I clear? How I have written this? Integral of dx will be equal to integral of v dt. When I integrate this, what will I get? When I integrate this, what will I get? I will get x on this side. Here it will be integral of v dt. We have to calculate this integral, plus a constant term will come and we will get the value of x from the value of v. Using this equation, this definition, I can get the value of v velocity when I know the value of x by differentiating it. So if I have position as a function of time, I differentiate it, I will get velocity as a function of time. When I use the different form of this equation number 2, when I use this equation number 2, I can get the value of x if I know the value of v. We'll be doing questions. Don't worry. Don't panic. We'll be doing questions. Do you understand this? Equation number 1, form number 1 is v is equal to dx by dt. Velocity is the derivative of position vector. Equation number 2 is x is integral of v dt plus c. Can I have some raised hand that we understand this, sir? Okay. Now let us write in a similar way. Let us write the fifth equation. The fifth equation was acceleration is dv by dt. Acceleration is dv by dt. How will I write it in a different way? I'll take dt this side. Step number 1. So my dv becomes a dt. I've taken it on the other side and multiplied. Then I take it to step number 2. In step number 2, I'll integrate both sides. So here I have integral of dv here I have integral of dv will be equal to integral of a dt. Am I clear? Integral of dv will be equal to integral of a dt. Then what would I do? I will integrate this. I will integrate this. So I will get v is equal to integral of a dt plus c. Plus c. C would be a constant here. And I would get the value of v. So from this form, from this form, equation number 1, I can get acceleration when I know velocity. The form 2, I can get velocity if I know acceleration. Am I clear? Can I have some raised hands? That's how we understand this. Anyone has any doubts? You can raise your doubts now. Okay. The last thing that remains is writing equation number 6 in the same form. Equation number 6 is A is equal to V into dV by dx. dV by dx. In the first step, I will take x this side. So it becomes V dV is equal to A dx. What would happen in the second step? Everyone knows this. What will happen in the second step? In second step, I will put the integral on top of it. So it becomes integral of V dV. Integral of V dV will be equal to integral of A dx. The last step, I will integrate them. Integral of V dV will give me integral of V dV will give me V square by 2. V dV, V square by 2. And that will be equal to integral of A dx plus some constants. That is how I can get velocity if I know acceleration. From this equation, I can get acceleration if I know velocity. Am I clear with all these three different variations of equation number 4, 5, and 6? Now will be the last thing that is remaining, solving a question and seeing how are we going to apply all these. Remember, this is the last class for this chapter. So we'll be applying everything that we have learned till now here. We'll be doing questions on variable acceleration and we'll not be using the equations in black, but we'll be using equations in the green that we have made, and then the different variations of the same equation. Are we ready to solve some questions? Okay, that takes us to question number 1. Question number 1. X is given as 2tq minus 3t square plus 4t plus 1. A particle is moving along x-axis. Its x-coordinate is given by this equation. Find velocity and acceleration as a function of time. So that is the first question. You have to find velocity and acceleration as a function of time. Question number 2. Find velocity and acceleration at t is equal to 1 second. So once you get the value of velocity and acceleration as a function of time, you then have to calculate the value of velocity and acceleration at 1 second. Your time starts now. Wow, Niharika is already there with an answer. Yes, Niharika, well done. Very well done, beta. So how do we go about solving this question? I'll give you a minute for everyone to solve it, then I will be doing my job. Okay, so how do we go about this? I write velocity as the derivative of x by t, dx by dt. That means I have to calculate the derivative of this entire thing, 2t cube minus 3t square plus 4t plus 1. So now the entire question is calculating the derivative of this. How do I calculate the derivative of 2t cube? 2 jumps out. Derivative of t cube is 3t square. So my answer would be the derivative of 2t cube is 2 into 3, 6. 6t square. That will be the derivative of 2t cube. How do I get the derivative of 3t square with a negative sign? Negative 3 or 3 jumps out, negative 3 is out. Then I have to calculate the derivative of t square. Derivative of t square is 2 times t. 2 times t. So 2 multiplied by 3, it becomes minus 6 because minus is also there. So minus 6 multiplied by t, that is the derivative of 3t square. I hope you remember the formula for this. How do I get the derivative of 4t? 4 jumps out. The only thing that remains is t. Derivative of t is 1. 4 multiplied by 1 will be equal to 4. How do I get the derivative of 1? 1 is a constant term. Derivative is 0. So my final answer for velocity is, V is 6t square minus 6t plus 4. Do we get this? Anyone got this? Can I have some raised hands? Only Niharika seems okay. Okay, we've got some raised hands. Vasant, Sai, Tarun, Janvi, Tanu, great, everyone doing great, well done. Now you can calculate velocity at 1 second at t is equal to 1. Just put the value of t as 1, and you will get your answer. What is the velocity at 1 second? I hope you can give me the answer. What is the velocity at 1 second? The velocity at 1 second seems to be coming as plus 4 meter per second. Am I clear with this? Can I have some raised hands? Let me understand this, sir. How we got plus 4 meter per second? Okay, great. That takes us to the second part of the question. That takes us to the second part of the question. We have to now calculate acceleration. Acceleration is the derivative of velocity dv by dt. So now we need to find out the derivative of d by dt of the velocity vector. Velocity is 6t square minus 6t plus 4. We'll have to calculate the derivative of this thing. How do I calculate the derivative of 6t square? 6 jumps out. Derivative of t square is 2t. So I write the answer. Acceleration is equal to 6 coming out. Derivative of t square is 2t. So this becomes 12t. This becomes 12t. I hope you understand this. How did I get this? Now I have to get the value derivative of minus 60. So minus 6 or 6 jumps out. Derivative of t is 1. So I get minus 6. This is the derivative of minus 60 plus 4. 4 is a constant term. Derivative of plus 4 becomes 0. My acceleration becomes 6t minus 6. Do we understand this? Can I have some raised hands? How did I get this? I simply calculated the derivative of 6t square minus 60, and that was all. Now I can easily find out. At time is equal to 1 second. Just put the value of time as 1. And you get your answer. When time is 1 second, acceleration is plus 6 meter per second square. Do we understand this? Do I have an understanding? Can I have some raised hands? Meter per second square, beta Niharika, not meter per second. Meter per second square is what I'm looking at. Do you understand this? Can I give you an homework question? On the same lines? Do we understand this question? Can I give you an homework? Okay, here comes your homework question. Particle moving along x is given by 3t cube minus 2t square plus 4. That is the x coordinate as a function of time. You have to find velocity and acceleration as a function of time. That is question number 1. Then you have to find velocity and acceleration at t is equal to 2 seconds. Can you do this for me, everyone? Will you be trying this at home? Once you try this question at home, you will be posting your answer on the Telegram group. I would be very pleased to comment on them and see how good you have done. So do you promise that you will be doing this question? Okay. So now we have done question. On this part. V is equal to dx by dt. We have done question on this, and we have done question on this. Acceleration is dv by dt. So we have done question on these two parts. Now we'll try to do the reverse of them. What is the reverse of them? We will now calculate velocity from acceleration. We'll calculate velocity from acceleration, and we would calculate the x position of the particle from velocity. Are we ready for this? To do the reverse of this? Are we ready? Can I have some raised hand? That's why we are ready for the question. Okay, here comes the reverse question. Question number 3. Acceleration of the particle is given as 2t. Find v and x as a function of time at t is equal to 0 seconds. Velocity is 0. X is 4. So acceleration is given as 2t. To find velocity and x as a function of time, you're given some additional information. When time is 0, velocity is 0, and the value of x is 4. Your time starts now. The only thing you need to do is integration, do the reverse of it, and you get your answers and stay happy. Shall I do this for you? So how are we supposed to do this? I am given acceleration is 2t. That is the information already given to me. So in first step, I will write acceleration as dv by dt. dv by dt is equal to 2t. dv by dt is equal to 2t. That is step number 1. Then I move on to step number 2. What is step number 2? This dt will move on to this side. This dt will move on to this side. Then how does the equation look? dv will look like 2t dt. Am I clear? Am I clear? Am I clear till this point? dv will look like 2t dt. Then I move on to the third step. I put integration sign over here. dv will be equal to integration of 2t dt. Do we understand this? I put the integration sign over this. We understand this. Now we need to integrate this. What will be the integral of dv? Integral of dv would be v. Integral of dv will be v. What will be the integral of 2t dt? 2t dt. 2 jumps out. We only have integral of t dt. Integral of t dt is t square by 2. T square by 2 multiplied by 2. So this 2 t square by 2 plus a constant c. Plus a constant c. I can take off this 2. I can take off this 2. So I have v as t square plus c. But again, I have a problem here. I don't know the value of c. I don't know the value of c. How will I get the value of c? C is a constant. How do I get the value of c? Anyone? I'll get the value of c from the data that is already given to me. Look at this data. Look at this data very closely. At time t is equal to 0, v will be 0. At time t is equal to 0, v will be 0. So put the value of time as 0 and put the value of v as 0. Put the value of v as 0. You will get the value of c. What is the value of c coming? Putting time as 0 and velocity as 0, the value of c will be coming as 0. Yes or no? Yes or no? So once you get that, you can completely write your velocity will be t squared. That will be your velocity as a function of time. Do we understand this? How did we get this? Velocity is equal to t squared. Now I can find, I get velocity as t squared. Do we understand this? Can I have some raised hands? Can I have some raised hand that we have understood this, sir? Now the next thing is to find x from velocity. How will I find x from velocity? So this velocity will be written as dx by dt. I will write it as dx by dt and I will write it as t square. Dx by dt is equal to t square. Step number 1. Step number 2. Step number 2. dt goes this side. dt goes this side. So I have dx is equal to t square dt. Step number 2. Step number 2 done. Step number 2 done. Takes us to step number 3. What is step number 3? I put the integration sign. Integral of dx is equal to integral of t square dt. Are you with me, everyone? Are you with me, everyone? Can I have some raised hands that we are there with you, sir? We understand what is happening. Now I integrate them. The integral of dx becomes x. Now I have to find the integral of t square dt. Simple formula, it is will be t cube by 3. It will be t cube by 3. T cube by 3 plus c. Now again I have a problem. How do I get the value of c? Anyone? How do I get the value of c? How do I get the value of c? Anyone? How do I get the value of c? I go back. Here. When time is 0, the value of x is 4. Do we see this? I have highlighted it. When time is 0, x is 4. Do we see this? X is 4. When time is 0, x is 4. So I put the value here. Time is 0 and x is 4. Time is 0 and x is 4. From here I will get the value of c. What will be the value of c now? What will be the value of c now? Time is 0, x is 4. What is the value of c? The value of c has to be 4. Am I clear? Am I clear? So from here I can write x will be equal to t cube by 3 plus, that would be my x as a function of time. How did I get this? How did I get this? Let me rewind this. How did I start? I started from acceleration is 2t. I started from this point, acceleration is 2t. I took it to step number 1. I wrote acceleration as dv by dt. dv by dt is 2t. Then I took dt on the other side. So dv becomes 2t dt. Then I put the integration part. I integrated it and I got a value c and I got a constant c. How did I get the value of constant c? I put the value of t as 0. It's given here t is 0, v is 0, t is 0, v is 0. From there I got c as 0. So then I got velocity as time squared. V is equal to t squared. Then I moved on to the next step. I wrote velocity as dx by dt. dx by dt is t squared. Then again t squared. Again dt went on that side. So dx becomes t squared dt. Next step, I put the integration sign. Next step, I integrated it. Next step, I integrated it. So I get x is equal to t cube by 3 plus c again. C is unknown. How do I get c? At time t is equal to 0, x is equal to 4. And that is how I arrive at the result, x is equal to t cube plus 4. Anyone has any doubts, please raise it now. Okay. So I'll give you one question for your homework. I hope you do this. And I will be very pleased if you do it. Acceleration is given as minus 60. Acceleration is given as minus 60. Find v and x as a function of time at t is equal to 0, v is equal to 0, x is equal to 2. So I hope you can solve this question and put your answers in the Telegram group. Can you do that for me? So now what we have done is, we have done question on acceleration, v is dx by dt. We have done question on this type. We have done acceleration is dv by dt question on this type. We have found out x from v. We have found out v from a. The only thing left is to get acceleration from velocity and the derivative of x. So now we will be doing question based on this. Are we ready for this? Are we ready for this? Are we ready for this? So here is a question. velocity is given as 2t. Oh, sorry, not 2t. Velocity is given as 2 times x. Velocity is given as 2 times x, where x is the position of the particle as a function of x is the position of the particle. So velocity is given as a function of x. You have to find acceleration as a function of x. You have to find acceleration as a function of x. This question appeared in your NEET 2020. Find acceleration as a function of x. Can anyone do this for me? Velocity is 2x. Find acceleration as a function of x. How are we supposed to do this? So we must remember that acceleration ka third formula is v into dv by dx. Acceleration is v into dv by dx. Do we remember this? Formula number 3. Formula number 3. Acceleration is v into dv by dx. So we have to multiply v by dv by dx. So let us now calculate dv by dx. Let us now calculate dv by dx. So I know is v is 2x. I know v is 2x. I differentiate this with x. So dv by dx will be the derivative of 2x. How do I get the derivative of 2x? 2 will jump out. Derivative of x will be 1. So dv by dx becomes 2. Am I clear? dv by dx becomes 2. So now, how do I get the acceleration? Acceleration is v multiplied by dv by dx. Acceleration is v multiplied by dv by dx. So how much is v? V is 2x. 2x multiplied by dv by dx. dv by dx is 2. So my acceleration becomes 4x. That is the value of my acceleration. I hope you understand how I have done this. I hope everyone has understood how I have done this. V is known as 2x. V is given as 2 times x. I have to find out the value of acceleration. So I multiply v by dv by dx. How do I get dv by dx? I differentiate 2x with respect to x. That is dv by dx. That is 2. 2x multiplied by 2 is 4x. 4x becomes your acceleration. Do we understand this? Can I give you one homework on this? Homework question. So I've given this homework question. Velocity is given as 4x squared. Velocity is given as 4x squared. Find acceleration as a function of x. Can you do this for me as an homework? So I've given you 3 questions as homework. If you can do all of these 3, I would be pretty pleased with you. So now I'll wind up this class and we are done with motion in 1 dimension. I'll give you a quick recap of what we have done in this chapter. In fact, whatever we had done in this chapter was covered in today's class with equations of motion. Equations of motions have covered everything that we have done in this chapter. So this last class was a complete revision of your entire chapter, starting from what do you mean by velocity, rate of change of position with time, average velocity is total displacement divided by total time, instantaneous acceleration is the rate of change of velocity with time, average acceleration is total change in velocity divided by total time. Then we had equations in black. When acceleration was valid, v is equal to u plus at. Delta R is equal to ut plus half at square. V square is equal to u square plus 2 8 delta R. Average velocity is v plus u by 2. These equations are only valid when acceleration is constant. And remember, these equations must be used with sign conventions. Why we have to use with sign conventions? Because whatever we are dealing are vectors, they have direction. So if something is going on positive x, it is positive. Something going on negative x is negative. Something going on positive y is positive. Something coming down on negative y is negative. That was our sign convention. Signs are very important. Positive or negative with vectors. Otherwise, we will lose their directions. If we lose their direction, we kill physics. Don't be a killer. We are just learners. I hope you have made your notes on this. If not, I'll be sending you this sheet. Make your notes. If you have any doubts, you can ask this. I'll be here. For my part, this chapter is over. Try the questions that are given in the notebook, in your notes, in your DPP. If you have any doubts, you can ask me. Else, I would dismiss this class here. I hope you stay safe, healthy, and happy. Bye bye.